right, we're coming to our Portage area.
Just gonna go off what my scouting reports say.
All right, folks, we are back for another season 3 of doing these shows. We are 2 weeks into our season. We've just finished our camp.
Great week at camp.
It really was. Yeah, we had a fantastic week, and it's getting a little cooler already. What we should probably talk about is what we're going to do with this first episode.
Well, Darren, first of all, Darren's moved on. He's a consultant now, our intern for the last 2 years.
So we're efforting some replacement work, and we'll see how those things work.
And just to show we're equal opportunity, we're thinking that we're going to take on somebody who is later in their life, they kind of a career change.
Right. We got to work them, get them up to speed a little bit.
That might take some time, folks, but
okay.
We're patient.
Okay, so what we're planning on doing here, and what we filmed, that shows our age, doesn't it? Yeah. What we've recorded is some of our memories at camp. Tell us a little about camp and your...
Well, it's our 25th year at Deep Portage. Yep. At Deep Portage, 29th overall.
Yep.
Well, we did have the 1 year, the COVID year, where the State High School League or the government or whoever you want to say it.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't go.
Couldn't do it, even though Deep Portage said, come on up.
Yeah, well, that's
and
right.
Our kids and parents said, we'd like to go.
Yeah.
But people with higher pay grades than ourselves said, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
So we've been there 25 years, and there are some great memories. So what we've chosen to do is some of the highlights of camp. These aren't really running related. They are just camp.
Well, somewhat related, but they're things that have happened. We had a laundry list. We had more, but we picked out a few. And we've also interviewed some more alums, and so we hope to have that throughout the season as well. All right, fans, take care. Coach, we're here at one of our most famous spots, something that occurred in camp 20 years ago. Do you want to give us the lowdown on what happened? Yeah, 2004, kind of the instructions. We were still fairly new coming up here to Deep Portage, and so kind of said, everybody keep right. Well, there was an unmarked trail that we were not aware of that was kind of narrow right over there. They took the
and it did require a right to get onto that minor trail.
Then it kind of comes out.
It comes out right about there.
And then they thought, we'll go right here.
Which would be a right.
Into this spot right here.
Okay, but then they encountered that fence, just like there was then back 20 years ago, right?
They did, and I will say this, I'm not going to use any names.
And it was padlocked, just like it is now.
Right, and I'm not going to use any names, but there were 4 people in the group.
Okay. 2
of them, I'll just say one was an NCAA champion.
Okay.
And she said, well, Coach Harder wouldn't have us jump a fence.
Okay. Yeah, and especially not into the... Now, the trail was a little bit more clear than it is now.
Correct. 2 other guys just decided, they said, Coach Harder said go right, we're going right.
But you never said anything about jumping a fence.
No, so 2 left, 2 went back, 2 went over this. Of course, you can go around this fence now. I don't think you could back then.
Yeah.
And this trail's it was a lot nicer than it is now.
Yeah.
And now this takes you into the hinterland.
There's no coming back from here, right?
No, and the problem is I said,
it was like an hour later after everybody else was in, we finally deciphered what had happened, and we're standing here, and we start... You were like trail hunting, weren't you? We're looking at footprints.
Dale Yerger took me out. I got to go in the bowels of this, and he kind of liked looking. He's like telling me what size shoe these guys wore. He's kind of doing all that stuff, and we kind of go in there, and I gave the comment. I said, "These guys are fit. They'll be okay." And he said, "Nope." He said, "The fit guys think they can get a way out."
Yeah.
He said, "If they're not fit,
they just turn around and come."
Sat down.
Yeah.
Right where they're at, we would have already found them.
Yeah.
So. That's kind of how it goes. I took up. I
mean, they're out on logging roads.
And we went canoeing the next day instead, because by the time we got back, we end up finding them. Because even when they got out to a highway, we said go right. So they went right again.
Yeah.
Not naming any names here. They went right again, and they
walked by homes even.
Well,
right?
They didn't want to talk to strangers.
Okay.
So they end up at a place called the Salty Dog.
And it's like 15 miles from here, right? It was like a 3-hour, 4-hour deal.
Something along that. They call it's a Salty Dog. And then with a straight, I gave them lunch, bought them lunch. With a straight face, I look at them. I said, we get our second workout here in about a half an hour. And one of them says, nods his head yes, and the other one says, I don't know about him, but I'm tired. Now, obviously, we weren't sending him out again, but that's the way the story goes.
Very cool.
All right, now we're here by the school van. The school van is brought up as a backup to in case of an emergency, things like that. And Coach Fenrick has a story on the day that morning he was going to leave, and we noticed some kind of fluid on the ground. Why don't you take it from there?
Well, first of all, it was the last day of camp. It was a Thursday, so sometimes I leave on Wednesday night to take some band people back. And I always had that line in my brain when it's Thursday, and people ask, what's your favorite memory of camp? And of course, I got this line from you, and you had gotten it from Keith Olbermann, right? The line was, I'm already having it in my head, deep portage in my rear view mirror. And so I'm all excited about leaving, and I took it out of here, drove it up to the cabin area, and as I'm getting out, I see some spray coming out from underneath the van. And I turned the car off, and there's gas everywhere. Well, there's a gas leak in the gas line. Turns out it was like, I had to get a tow truck, right? I think I had to get a tow truck.
Yeah, we believe it was a porcupine.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. The experts, we had some animal experts come in and look at the gas line, and they think it was a porcupine. And Dale, I think, helped identify that too, that they thought it was a porcupine that had come in these very weeds right down here, got into the gas line, because apparently the new standards, the environmental friendly standards for the rubber, it's not pure rubber anymore. They've got some kind of cellulose.
So you're blaming it on the state legislature in some ways.
Right, that all of a sudden there was some actually plant product in the rubber, so they were chewing on the gas line, which caused it to leak, which caused me to have to call a tow truck. I spent 4 or 5 hours in Hackensack waiting for the word and whether they could get it fixed. And by the time I found out that they couldn't get it fixed that week, I was stuck out here. So I hitchhiked down, well actually I just rousted out some people that I was talking to and begged them to take me down to Baxter so I could rent a car from there, and it all worked out.
And we had Mike Manning, our athletic director at the time, who said, I will pick up the very van when he's up north of his cabin.
Because he has a cabin 10 miles from here, right? So it all worked out.
Along those lines.
Yeah, very cool.
Great camp memory. Great action here at camp is in the bocce competition, our oldest running event. This was 2002, and a couple of freshmen at the time, Kyle Russo, who was a state qualifier for
as a freshman,
yeah. And Adam Marriott had the coaches, a.k.a. the Yankees, on the ropes in this much ballyhooed game here.
I believe at the time we were ahead 20-19, but they had thrown 2 closer to the jack.
Right, so we've got our backs against the wall. Looks like we're going to maybe lose our first ever match, and then Coach Fenrick, and we will kind of reenact right here. Yeah. Coach Fenrick now. Yeah. Here's the situation.
We'll show the situation. The balls were about like that. You got to, right? They were about like that. And
the jack is where that little rock is at that time.
How far back were we?
You're back a little ways there.
It was a long ball. Right?
It's a long ball. And Coach Fenrick, now the course is a little bit different here because things have changed here. Now this bocce set I got for my wedding anniversary. We just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. So this set had only really been in play. This is the second year of the set.
But this is, and this is the very set that I threw with.
It is. And you can see we've had to kind of repaint. It's kind of been rubbing off.
It was an extreme high ball, right? And it goes in high, and these guys, Marriott, those guys are yucking it up. And then it just came down, down, and it just stuck right there like that. Might have been one hop, but then basically right inside those 2 guys. Those were guys, and we win 21, 21-19. Because it was
21-20, I thought it was.
No, they were ahead. We were ahead 2019, but they had gotten 2, and they were going to be beating us 21-20.
And sometimes sometimes over time.
Yeah, but boom. That was really the start of, after that, we went on a roll for like 7 or 8 years. We really couldn't be stopped.
It's like the Yankees of the 60s.
Yeah, and then we kind of struggled in the aughts, or in the teens, but we've made some comebacks the last few years.
Oh, we have a target on our back.
Yeah,
come up here.
we do, yeah.
We just won 11-10, down 10-6. Now we only play to 11.
Yeah.
That's another great story from camp. Now another addition, Coach Fenrick, it appears.
This is brand new.
This bench has been there maybe a few years old. Yeah. And my understanding is a benefactor from Cass County provided the bench.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second. There's a little plaque here. It says, think where a man's glory begins and ends, and say, my glory was I had such a friend. Yates. Another camp memory here is they're not playing the volleyball right now, but you can kind of see our volleyball and cornhole or bags tournament. But right down here on the very last day is Championship Wednesday, right, Coach?
Yeah, we had team volleyball.
Okay.
Team volleyball, they go into the war room. You got seniors usually go into the war room and draft.
Yep.
Okay, and they during the first 2 days
they're
play
scouting
a lot of
guys.
competition. They're scouting, trying to find some,
who can play, who
gems,
can't,
things like that. But once they have their team, now it's a double elimination tournament, and they take
kids
it
take
serious.
it very seriously.
And this is the site of a pep talk from Luke Richard Anderson.
Right in here, right?
And
you just happened to overhear it. Right?
I overheard it. Actually, we were able to film it. It's in the archives in ihigh.com, which went under about 8 years ago. And he's telling them, look to your left, look to your right. Kind of a motivational speech he was giving to the players. I was kind of like a proud papa because I had Luke in class.
In U.S. history.
And that's one of the very lines they're using before they stormed the beaches of Normandy.
Oh, as they're in the carriers coming to the beach.
Well, yeah, before they're even going up there, they're explaining what's going to happen and understanding the guys in the first, especially the first few waves, not coming back.
And so remember the guys that to your left and to your...
And they're doing it for your...
And he repeats that line to the volleyball team.
He does.
Right here.
And not surprisingly, I believe they won their next match.
Very cool. More camp memories. We're down here kind of in the deeper bowels of camp in kind of a work area, and I think we have a memory down here too.
We do, and actually it really happened over there.
That's right, it was right down there.
Yeah. A couple of seniors, Tyler Blumke and Ryan Gould, so I think that would have been Camp 2011.
Yeah, right in that landing
where they
area.
spent tonight. They made their own teepee.
They were actually
taking
the limbs from the trees here, right?
The dead stuff.
The dead one, and they were cleaning them up. You had some knives, and they were.
Well, I don't know about knives.
Well, some kind of device to
Well, we're not going to get in trouble here.
A sharp device. We don't something to trim the trees a little bit.
Something.
But they had built themselves a really nice teepee, and then they took it a step further.
They spent the night.
How'd that affect their running?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. As Jay Robinson once told me, the old wrestling coach at the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
If you can answer the bell the next day.
They did.
They did.
They did. Actually, Tyler was a member of our top 7 that year.
That's a skill.
Yeah.
Get
up. Yeah. Get it done.
If you're going to make some tougher decisions at night, you better answer the bell in the morning.
And they did.
They
never complained. All right, Irish fans, we're here with Wes Fisher, class of 2005. An all-stater in the 4x8, as I recall, anchor leg in 155 that they ended up getting 3rd in. Also ran track all 4 years, I believe, and cross 2 years maybe?
2 years in cross,
okay.
Unfortunately.
So tell us what you're up to, where you're living. And
so I live in Midlothian, Texas. So I work at a glass manufacturing facility.
Okay, and getting ready to move
to? Getting ready to relocate to another part of the country. So it should be fun.
Can you think of anything from track or cross country that you still use either in your family or work life today?
Yeah, so I still run, not as much as I'd like to.
You look fit.
Yeah, I try to be fit. So I still get out a couple times a week. It's a little hard with the family, but still try to make time for it. So I really appreciate what Rosemount High School coaches have done to ingrain in me consistency and staying persistent, dedication, hard work. It pays off. The more that you can stay focused on something and stay fit will help you out quite a bit.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it, Wes. 45, 46.